Hi, my name's Bonnie Meekins, and I want to read a little bit from a memoir that I've been writing with my sister, Jackie Hales. The memoir is book length and it's called Remnants of War. It's due to be released on Kindle on the 30th of April, 2021. It's available now for pre-order, and there will be a paperback version released in April. So before I start this very short reading, I just want to apologize in advance for some of the language which is outdated about color in particular. Because I am quoting from the language that was used in the 1950s. So sit back and relax, and I hope that you will enjoy this very short excerpt. Is she a half-caste, Mrs. M? The cheery midwife caused our mother to freeze. She hadn't wanted this baby and had never liked the necessary act that created her and the others before her. Sex was, as she later explained to me, aged 10, a man's pleasure and a woman's duty. It was shameful enough getting pregnant in your late 30s, a blatant display to the whole world that you had done it. Our brother, a cocky sailor fast outgrowing his working class roots along with his midshipman's uniform, had admonished our mother when she became pregnant, as if it was something for which she was entirely responsible and was just a tad distasteful. If I had to be born, I'd better be a boy. I was not. Our mother had always feared having a throwback. It was no doubt in part my father's healthy permanent tan that helped to entice her to him when she met him at the tender age of 15. They say we're programmed to choose a healthy-looking mate. Dad and I used to compare our tans in the summer, rolling up our sleeves and levelling our forearms alongside each other. He always won, hands down, but I never gave up hope that one day I would be as dark as him. I loved his colour. The family legend told of our great-great-great-grandmother, an Indian princess whose freedom was bought. Dad thought she married a soldier. Descended from them was our dad's granny, who wore a trilby hat and smoked a hookah. Dad looked Anglo-Indian, though when Bonnie's Jewish ex-partner's parents first met him, they wondered if he was Unsura, one of us. We may never know. The lineage is correct in terms of names, but the Indian princess was in fact born in what we now call the Caribbean, and Jackie's research suggests that our captain had gone to the West Indies during the Napoleonic Wars, taking with him his first young wife, as was usual in the early 19th century, but she had been one of the many who died. So he had married again while out there to our possibly partly Indian ancestor. Bonnie's story continues. So here was I, a breech baby that thankfully turned, but the throwback my mother feared that added to the shame of having had sex in the first place with the midwife all smiley and expecting her to love me anyway. No doubt she did. But like many women of the day, she fed me to a strict 4-hourly regime and turned my pram around in the garden. I was born in June, so she kept me outdoors most of the day, so that I wouldn't see her when she came to hang the washing out, and would not be tempted to demand anything of her other than the perfunctory care she was required to give. Even that changed when, at 6 weeks old, I was abruptly weaned onto the bottle after she had to have an intravenous pyelogram, an X-ray of the kidneys that involves injecting a radioactive dye into the blood. No one told her how to breastfeed me afterwards, her not to breastfeed me afterwards. I puked up some nasty green stuff, and after that I was unceremoniously transferred to the bottle. Mum didn't know what to call me, having, I suspect, only picked boys' names, and it wasn't until one of the ladies from down the road came to visit with a bunch of Veronicas in her hand that it came to her. I could be called Veronica and given her own second name as mine. And so I was duly registered and christened as Veronica Frances Meekins. Unfortunately, my dear parents had not considered the fact that they had an under two who might just find Veronica a bit difficult to say. Jackie had a good crack at it though, and it came out as Bonica, which was deftly changed to Bonnie. And so it is that I remain Bonnie Meekins to this day. Thank you for listening.